Welcome to RAGT24. We're here with Jill Shalvis, who is going to interview me for a little switch up. And we actually coincided on questions on what we cared to answer.
We did. We crossed quite a few
So we didn't want to answer. I'll turn it over to you.
All righty then. Well, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good.
Nobody knows that behind the scenes we've already bitched and complained about, about everything under the sun.
It feels like we've been here 5 years already.
I know it already.
Okay. The first thing I want to ask you is, where are you in your career? What's up for you next?
So I just signed new contracts. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So I don't have a lot of any after the book that's out, this one out this
Love
year.
that cover.
Thank you. I have no more new books this year, which is so unusual for me because usually I have like at least 5, sometimes 6 books out. But I kind of made a career switch. So I'm only doing 2 mass markets with Harlequin, which I've been with them forever and ever. And I signed for 2 trade books with Kensington, which is where I used to be ages ago.
Yes,
back when I first gained, a measure of popularity. And so I just, it's going to be really fun writing for Kensington again. And then Harlequin, who's been really, really faithful on doing the benefit books, opted not to do one this year. So I feel so sad that I won't have a benefit book this year, but I'm so appreciative that they did it for so many years. Mm-hmm. But then Kensington picked it up. And they're going to do it slightly different, where it will be in an anthology and a 2-person anthology. Is it called a duology? I don't know. I don't know. Is it anthology? I don't know. I'm putting it on you, Jill. But I'll be in there with Maisie Yates. So my story still goes to charity, but Maisie will be in it too. And she has a really cute story. And so I'll be able to do my benefit books again next year and the year after because I signed for 2 with them.
That's great.
So sort of switched it up a little bit. And my husband said, how do you still have so many books due when you don't have any more out this year? I said, I don't know. That's just how it worked out.
My follow-up question is, you wrote 5 books a year all these years? I didn't know that.
Yeah, sometimes 6. Yeah. But Jill, I got old. I'm not going to say you got old. I got old.
I got old too. It's okay to say.
I mean, have you slowed down, do you think?
Yes, I only do 2 a year. How do you do 5?
I can't anymore because I'm too old. But yeah, I sort of lived and breathed writing. And now, you live, you breathe, you write a little, you go
nap.
Live, you breathe.
Yeah.
I can't nap because I have nightmares if I nap. But I'll veg out, like I'll go sit on the couch and watch something or take a walk around the pond or pet I have a cat that he lost his tail when he was much younger. When we moved to this house where we had 5 cats. They got old with us, so now we're down to 2 cats. And one lost his tail ages ago fighting with another cat and got bit. And then he just lost an ear from skin cancer. Oh. So this poor cat, he's chubby. He has 1 ear now. Oh, no. And he has his little stubby tail that does like this when he wags it. But he's still with us. And so I try to spend more time with the cats too. Because
you used to have 100 cats.
I know I used to have. Well, I still have.
The ferals.
Yeah, so I have 2 ferals I go out and take care of. And do you know, people will tell me online, you need to bring that cat in the house. I can't bring that cat in the house. That cat would shred me.
Have they ever met a feral cat?
No, yeah, I mean, like I open the door and say, you want to come in? And he's like, do you want to get clawed? So I can't let it. I would let him in. He won't come in. So, but I feed him faithfully and I gave him warm shelters and he walks with me every day.
Aww.
So I got to take a walk and Stash runs to catch up and keeps up with me. And
Stash, that's cute. Does he have a mustache?
He does. And the dumbest thing ever, and I bet we do this in characters too. Stash came there and we named him Stash because he has that mustache. And then a gray cat showed up and we named him Ash. Don't ever name 2 cats Stash and Ash. I can't. What in the world was I thinking?
My granddaughter's name is JoJo and we call her Jo. Joe and Jill, if you're yelling for someone, sounds exactly the same. So you get a 3-year-old and an old lady coming running every time you yell that name. It's crazy.
Does she try to beat you when she runs?
Oh, she beats me by 5 miles. I'm 5 years behind her.
My sons were Jake and Mason, and my mother-in-law will call them Jason, both of them. So just mix it up. So I know we do that all the time.
I just realized they should not have given me a chair that moves because I'm going to be messed the whole time.
That's all right.
Okay, good. All right, next question. What is the most memorable thing you take away from these events?
From these events, I guess how happy everybody is afterward. At some point in time, someone will complain about something because that's just happens at these events. Someone didn't have a good hotel experience or someone's books got misplaced. Something always happens. But the general feeling when we leave here after making so much money for Cancer-Free Kids and for the animal shelter everybody is on a high. And it's just, you can kind of live off that for a month. It's such a good feeling. Like, I know by the time you fly home, you'll be exhausted, but it's a feel-good event because we're not only seeing readers and visiting with author friends that we only see once a year, but we're doing something for the community too.
That's amazing.
So
that's really cool.
I mean, is that the same for you?
Oh, absolutely. I will go home and be tired, but it's a good tired because, we work all year long all by ourselves. And then you get to see the people who appreciate the books that we put out. There's no better feeling than that.
Right. It is. It's pretty amazing.
It is. It's a dream come true job for me, an introvert.
Yeah, as I say, because you're an introvert like I am. So I like to see people when it's scheduled. Every so often I run into people when I don't mean to run into people. And we took our grandsons to Horror Hound. And it was after I'd broken my tooth and I didn't have a tooth in place. So I was walking around like this because I didn't want them to miss Horror Hound. And these are all people dressed as Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. Did not expect to see a romance reader here, right? And all of a sudden, a guy dressed as Vendetta says, "You're Lori Foster." And I'm like,
a guy?
And I immediately cover my tooth.
Nothing to see here, folks.
And he's like, wait there. Let me find my girlfriend or wife or whoever she was. And so she came up, and I've got my two grandsons just going, because they have no idea. I'm just Momo who, to them. And so after we did this whole thing, and I apologized, I said, I'm going to hide my mouth because I can't smile real big because I'm missing a tooth. As we're leaving, my youngest grandson says, "Momo, are you famous?" And my oldest son was with us, and he's not the dad, he's the uncle. And he starts cracking up. He goes, "Dude, how did you not know that?" I said, "I'm not famous. I'm popular with a very small group of people that read my books." And he looks over and he goes, "You're famous." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Because we don't feel in any way different than who we were 20 years ago,
It still surprises me.
I mean, you do. You always tell me how famous you are. But
yeah, I'm very famous. But it does surprise me when someone knows coming here where the people came here to see us. I'm still surprised.
Right. When someone, you know me. Yeah.
You know where I'm going? Could you tell me? Because I'm lost.
It's a good feeling, but sometimes if it takes, like I was happy to talk to those people. It was fun to be recognized, but it always takes me by surprise because I was not looking like Lori Foster, the author. I was looking like Lori Foster, the harried grandma. You know,
I feel like I look the same because I don't do makeup and dress up and all that. So I'm just always just me. And so maybe that's why I get surprised. I don't know.
I know, but you're naturally pretty, so you're okay with it. I look in the mirror and I think, oh, it's hopeless. Let's just go. No,
we've been doing this how many years? We don't know how many years we've been doing this.
It's been quite a few years,
But you look the same.
Well, thank you. I don't, but okay.
Well, my eyes are bad.
You can lie to me at my face, I know.
I don't have my glasses on. Okay, where are we? Who do you enjoy writing the most? What do you enjoy writing the most? Suspense or contemporary?
So I like writing suspense, my romantic suspense, which aren't all suspense like Karen Rose is an amazing suspense author. But I don't write that kind of. I like to write romance with some suspense and action and some alpha guy kicking butt and, I
like the action in your books.
I like that, but they don't really want me to do a lot of that anymore. So I've had to tone back some. It's like they don't want a guy that gets mad and punches someone in the mouth. He has to be nicer. And in reality, I wouldn't want some guy just running around punching people.
It's not reality.
But I want it to be a situation where he can punch someone in the mouth. So I've tried to tone it down a little bit on that. But that's my favorite, is having, like When You Dare, he was a mercenary. And when someone tried to take the woman he was protecting out of a Walmart, he just annihilated everybody in his path. I kind of like that. I dig writing that sort of thing. But I can't really do that right now. But I like writing my contemporary romances, my women's fiction-y. I don't really write women's fiction either. So I'm sort of that crossbreed where I can't really jump wholeheartedly. Well, you don't write straight women's fiction either. You still have a lot of romance in yours.
I almost write no women's fiction. That's just what they call it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not really, it's romance.
Because you still have a strong romance in it.
Or two.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, because that's what we cut our teeth on that.
But I like the adventure in your books.
Thank you. I like it in my books too.
That's my favorite movies to go see too.
Me too. Did you see Beekeeper?
It's next up on our queue. I haven't
it's
seen
really
it.
good. He just plows through people.
It
was pretty awesome.
I
Me
love
too.
Him.
Me too.
How many of your ideas for books make the cut versus the ones that don't?
So used to be all of them because I didn't have to.
All of them made the cut?
Yeah, it used to be because I didn't have to ask. I just wrote what I wanted to write. But of late, because as we both know, industry has changed a little bit. So I had a story idea I wanted to do with stuntmen, and they nixed it.
That would have been
And
so
I
good
so
for
badly
you.
want to write my stuntmen.
Because then you could have punched people.
Yeah, they can, and drive over them and throw
Right.
them off buildings and everything. Yeah. So I still think, like, if I ever go indie in my lifetime, which the older I get, that sometimes I think maybe it'd be nice just to write for me. Right now, I'm very happy at Kensington, so I don't mean that. But if I ever did, I would probably write my stuntmen series. So that one got turned down. Oh, so
But
devastating.
wait, that new movie, Fall Guy,
Mhm.
maybe he'll bring
I
Stuntman
know.
back and make it popular enough.
Yeah. I'll hit it just the right
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
That's the hope.
So that was it. But other than that, have you had any ideas turned down?
Lots.
No.
I really have. When I was writing for Grand Central,
Okay.
I really had a hard time getting story ideas
Really?
for them. Avon, whatever I want to write.
That's
great.
good.
They don't care. So
That's much better, right?
much
To just
better.
write what you want to write.
yeah. And I'm perfectly happy to be edited, but the ideas are hard if they don't come from you.
Yeah. Well, because then I don't know about you, but by the time I invest myself into coming up with an idea,
Mhm.
I have invested myself.
Yes.
And so I've got all that going on in my head. And then you got like, no, just shake that out. Well, it doesn't work
You
that way.
can't do it that way.
Yeah.
That's
so
hard.
It is.
I wonder what Kensington will be like.
It's been great so far. It's been really fun. But real quick, funny story. So I turned in the single title for them, and it's about a woman whose husband cheats on her, and she leaves him and she starts over, and then the woman he cheated with shows up with a baby, and she's deathly ill, and she has no one to go to, and his family's blackballing her, and the guy's dead, and they want her to, and she doesn't want any of it. And here's this poor woman who was with her husband, and she's as I would hope I would be for someone in that situation who didn't know the guy was married, and she's very compassionate. But my editor, Alicia Condon, who I really, really like, she said, you must have had to dug deep for that. And I said, just let me make it clear, this is not a personal experience in any way. Because I would have divorced him too, But yeah, in this book, I've never experienced it, but that's who I would hope I would be.
So that was kind of a women's fiction element.
So yeah, but there's a hunky marine in it.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, there's a hunky marine.
Does real life inspire you for ideas?
I mean, everywhere, right?
Mhm.
Everywhere we go,
Mhm.
it does.
Mhm.
Movies do too, and I bet you're the same way. You can see one little thing and it takes it's not the whole plot, but your
spark.
brain runs off
Mhm.
with something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that happens to me quite often.
I have papers all over the house that my people keep putting into files. And
Your people? You got
my
people?
daughter, anybody. Because if they see a napkin on it and they go to throw it away, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
Turn
that's
it
mine.
over. There's a note on it.
Yeah.
So then they drop it into the file for me. There's a
Yeah.
file up against where I sit because ideas come from everywhere.
So how often do you go through your file?
Every time I need a new story idea.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's me. I jot things down in the middle of the night, and then I get the next day, and I don't know what the heck they say. It's like, what was I thinking? But
Yeah, me too, in the middle of the night. I do that a lot. And then I can't. I'm so mad at myself because in the middle of the night
because it was
great.
good. That's why I wrote it
So
down.
good. What has been your favorite book to write so far?
Probably When You Dare. I really liked writing it because every so often you just decide I'm going to throw out everything. I'm not going to think about what an editor might like or what readers might like or what will be acceptable. And I'm just going to do what I want to do. And I did. And it was loads of fun. And they gave me the hottest cover ever.
It did.
Such a gorgeous
That's one of
guy.
my favorite books of yours
Yeah.
of all time. What do you ever think you'll run out of stories to tell?
No, because you got too many, right?
Yeah.
I got stories I'll never get to tell because I've got too many.
That's not ever the problem. The problem is the discipline of the writing.
Yeah. The problem is getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't write as fast as I used to.
Or forgetting all the great ideas in the next world.
We'll probably do have time for one more question.
All right. What advice would you give to a new writer?
Oh, gee, I'm so glad that I'm not a new writer right now. And I've said this a million times. I was talking to Viola Shipman on an interview. And I said, I felt like for years I pushed that boulder uphill to get to be a, New York Times bestseller that could write what I wanted to write and all that. And now that the industry has changed, just like the movie industry has changed, movie theaters are having a difficult time. There aren't the brick and mortar bookstores that there used to be. Amazon kind of owns everything. And so it's just a very different industry right now. And people are putting their focuses in different places. They're really trying to help marginalized authors, which is a good thing, and just, expanding what is acceptable and what isn't. And I'm when my boulder starts sliding downhill, it's going to get out of the way
Yeah.
because I was already where I needed to be. And at this point, I'm so happy with life, and I'm so happy with what I've accomplished as an author, but more than that, just who I am as a person. And so I'm just very content. And so I think if a new author was trying to build her career right now, it's an entirely different world. My best advice would be find someone else who just started and is successful, because they would have the advice I don't have. I don't really know what people even do today.
I don't.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, how do people get started now?
I mean,
The
the
pay
indie-
is so different.
I don't think a lot of people go right to traditional publishing anymore.
Right. I don't think so. I think they probably go indie first because it takes so long to get published.
And they're doing really well.
They are. But they're doing really well, really well. And I don't mean to demean anybody, but the pay scale for what you and I got is very different for what new people are getting now. That's why I say I'm just very glad I had what I had when I had it. You know, I still have. But if you were starting out right now, boy, it's going to be a long road for people. You know, there's just so many different options and ways to go now. And, you know, Amazon, Kindle Unlimited. A lot of people won't go out to get a specific book because they'll just take what's on sale at Kindle Unlimited. And I understand that. There's a lot of pirating, and, you know, publishers are up against it trying to sort it out. So it is a very, very different world. I'm glad it was so simple that I would go to the book rack where they had used books to buy mine when I was young and poor, you know.
I used to go to the library in the very back where there were uncategorized romance novels on the wall back there.
Yeah. But it's I mean, I don't know. A bunch of people don't even go to the library anymore.
That's so sad. I grew up in a library.
I know, me too. Yeah, it's sad.
Listen to us two old dinosaurs
I know.
talking about the good old days.
Put us out to pasture. We're done. We got a little life left in us yet. Yeah.
Did you want me to ask you another one?
No, I think we're probably out of time, although I'm not for sure, but I think so.
Are we giving books away, or?
We will. So I'll be doing a giveaway on this, and then we'll give them away then.
All right.
So, all right.
Sounds good.
Thank you.